Okay. So hello everyone. Good morning and good evening. So last class we were discussing about the Angular with structural directives, like how to display some content based on certain conditions, right? Using ngIf and ngSwitch, and we also discussed ng-for. Right, ng-for is for looping an array and display the array of content using it can be any type of content, like it can be a card format you display, or it can be a UL tags to display, or you can display a table format. So you can just loop it any number of elements based on a certain array using ng-for. So we have discussed, but yesterday some problem we faced because uh, that was not working, right? So while iterating through the list of persons, so it was not working. Even I tried to figure out the issue, but it seems there is no issue. There's some problem with the building. The system is not able to build. So I have just restart the server, Angular development server. I have just restarted. It was started working. Okay, so that's not an issue actually. So I have started the same project of yesterday. So I show you now. Still building. Mm, let's wait for this. Come on. Mhm. Okay, so it is compiled successful, and it has opened a browser, right? Oh, ngserve. Oh, okay. I have not made it ngserve hyphen. Oh, fine. We will start with 4200. Yeah, see, this is what we supposed to do yesterday, and I shared this code only to you yesterday itself. I fix it immediately once the class is finished, and I shared the same this code to you, right? So how to iterate the data we have discussed earlier. Fine. So today we are going to discuss a new concept. Okay, so we are going to discuss something new concept. What is that? What is that concept is? Let me open a notepad. Notepad. Okay, so today's concept is component interaction. Components interaction. So how one component is getting interact with other component. For example, we all know in Angular, right? So Angular, we can develop any UI, any part of UI using a component-based development. So component means you can divide the whole page into the multiple parts. So each and every piece of UI is called as a component. Okay, so previously till now what we have discussed is we have taken one independent component. So this each component contains what? Can you tell me? Every component contains one template and the TS file. So template means the .html, and this will be the .ts file. So .ts file is the actual data provider. So this data, how to bind to HTML and TS file we discuss, and how to display the data conditionally also we discuss, like if condition for loop and all we discuss. Fine. Now let go something out of the box. What is that is, sir, I have two components. Okay, what is that is, suppose for example I have another component. Uh, I have another component here. Okay, so now what is my plan is, I want this particular data in this component. I wanted to display that data not in the same component. I want to display in some other component. Okay, so how both the components are having connection between them is, let's see. Generally, how the components has been configured. If you can see the directory structure of uh, the architecture of Angular application, how components will be made is like this. How components will be made is, we have at root level, there is one component called app component. Okay, root level component is app component. For the entire application, root level component is app component. Okay, uh, now for this app component only, we will create our own components. Like for example, this is the card component, right? Let's say customers component. You have another component called something stocks component, like that. Okay, so these are having connection like this. Okay, and in the customer we also have some other component. For example, this customer is nested with another component called customer detail or something, customer card you take. Okay, so this customer card is having connection with the customer. Let me draw a line here like this. So now we will understand this story. What is the story is, let's understand. We know how independent component connection, we know, right? Independent component, how to maintain data, how to display data, how to make two-way data binding and all, we know, right? Conditionally how to display also, we know. Now let's take two components having connection between them. Okay, let me take an example of this one, these two. Assume you have two components, one is the this one and this one. So in this case, this customer will become the parent component, this customer card will become the child component. I repeat, this customer is having is called as the parent component, this called as child component. Okay, so now we'll understand how to transfer the data between parent component to child and child component to parent. Okay, so there are some two special annotations. We just name them as annotations. There are two annotations you need to know. One is at input, and one more is at output. Okay, so these two are required to make a connection between two components. Okay, what is this at input? What is this at output? At input means, see here, suppose my child component want to receive some data from the parent. For example, I want to receive a data from parent. Let me draw the, yeah, one second. Let me receive some data. I thought of drawing one arrow. Yeah. So when a child can receive data from parent to child, anything you are receiving from parent to child, you have to use this at input in the child. Okay. And reverse. Reverse means what? Uh, if you want to send some data from child to the parent, suppose you have a data in the child, but your plan is to display that data in the parent level. So from child to parent, how to send data is at output. Very simple. Parent to child is at input, child to parent is at output. Okay. And then let's see how to create a component and how to interact. Let's have a look. Okay. So for this, we need to have two components. One is the parent and one is the child. Okay. So let's start with the, I just go to, okay. I have this one. Okay, this is previous example. I don't want this components and model. Let me delete it. I just uh, I don't need all this. Not required. And also module, you have done some configuration. That is also not required. Hobby selector, not required. One second, my WebStorm got stuck. Okay, come on, dude. Okay, I don't want this. What happened? One minute, one minute. Okay, it's gone. This is not required. Yeah, it's back to normal. I remove the components folder and all. I think I have to. Uh, is that started? Okay, it's showing a lot of errors because I removed everything. Let me restart once. And before I restart, actually I have modified the package.json. It must be -o, correct? Okay, so let me start. npm start. See, starting only takes this much time. If you want to create a fresh project, no, and for every class, half of the class creation of project only. Okay, so we use the same existing project. Um, Come on. Anything else is no software is running, right? Okay, so it has to open a browser automatically. Let's see. Okay, so compile successful. Happily it opens. Yeah, here. So now what is the concept? Angular with here. Angular with component interaction. Component interaction. Come on. Okay. So I wanna create two components, parent and child. I'll give the name as parent and child only. Let's see. I in the app I create a new directory called components. In that I create one folder called simple. Okay, simple example and then go with complex example. Okay, so that's the plan. So simple. In the simple, I want two components. So let me right click on this. Open in terminal. Nggc parent. Okay, in the simple nggc parent. It will create the parent component. Okay, and one more ng. Sorry, I made a mistake. Nggc child. Okay, fine. Now I got two components. Now look and check here in this simple folder we have two, parent and child. Okay, you can expand and check. Yeah. Now what I do is in the app in the root level, what is this app? I connect first parent and then child. So parent, you can name properly, right? Isco. This is you can name as parent. This is our parent component and this is child. Uh, this is taking much time. Okay, this is called as child component. Okay, so now let's connect the parent to the app and then child to the parent. So see how in the app component I connect app parent. So parent is connected to the app. Okay, so if you connect, what happens? You get the default message parent works. Okay, now in the parent HTML, let me write something. I write one container, one single row, single column, one card. Okay, now in the card I make what is that is okay, I just write some p.h4. This is the parent, or else we'll do one thing. Card header will do. In that I write p.h4 parent component. Okay, and then one card body. Okay, so now check. You get the card. You get the card. You get the card. This one, and you have a parent component. Okay, so I'm not talking about child as of now. Let's say only parent now. So in the parent component.ts file, I will create a variable public message. Okay, public message of type string is equal to good evening. Good evening. It shows some errors. Okay, ts lint is the error. Okay, you have to fix it. uh, where is that? Editor, inspections, typescript, ts lint and disable. Okay, okay, I have a message with a string good evening in the parent. So I want to display this on my parent. What you do in the parent.html card body, you will make message. Simply that message is going to display in the parent. That is very straightforward, right? Okay. Now what is my plan is, in the parent I want to configure child. Okay. So let me configure child in the parent. So what I do, instead of writing message, I will configure child app child like this. Okay, if you can recollect, in the app component configured parent. In the parent, I have a child. This is what this relationship. Okay. Now, if you configure app child in the card body of the parent, so what happened? So child works because child is inside the parent now. Okay, for child also I'll make a nice card. What we do in the child HTML, let's make one container, one row, single column. Let's make one card again, card header with I want to give some message here. It's a child component p.h4 child component, and then here one card body. I will display okay something empty. Now check. That is the parent. This is the child. Okay. Uh, Now in the parent I have some data. What is that? In the parent I have a message. Okay. So this message, good evening, this message, if you display in the parent, let's start with P. If you display in the parent, it will display in the parent as it is, because data is there in the parent, you can display in the parent. But what's my plan is that data I don't want to display in the parent, I want to send to the child, so the child can display the data. Okay. So if child want to receive the data, what is annotation you have to use? If child want to receive a data, it input is the annotation. Okay. So what I will do is, in the child I will create at input, at input receiving from the parent. Okay. At input, where is that input? Yeah, at input something called msg. That's my variable string. No value, just at input message is string. Okay. Now uh, now what is the thing is, I want to provide this data to the child. How to provide is, in the parent.html as a property you can provide, just say msg is equal to message like this. So what is this message is, represents the parent specific data. Okay, this message, observe very closely, this message represents the data belongs to the parent, and what this msg represents is the data which belongs to the child. Okay. So this message is good evening that I am providing to the msg variable of child. So child can receive this. See, even if you click on control button and press this, it will go to parent specific message. And if you press the control button, click on this, it will go to child specific msg. Okay, that's the plan. Now this message is provided to the child specific msg. Now the child msg is filled with some data. I want to use this msg on my child component. How to use is somewhere here, p tag, from parent I just make msg. And please check, am I initialize any value here? No. But when I display that MSG on the child, I get the data called good evening. See, good evening actually was there in the parent, but I can display the data in the child. Okay, so very simple. How to send data from parent to child is, in the child you have to declare any variable with it input, and how to configure is the child specific variable is equal to parent data. Okay, so this way you will send it. Okay, fine. So parent data I have it in the child. Fine. Now I will make something here from child. From child. Okay, so from parent I receive good evening. Now what is my plan is, mm, in child also I have some data I will create, and when I click on one button, it will send this data to the parent level. When I click on the button, it will send data to the parent level. Let's see how to send. Okay, so what I do in the child, I create one variable. So um, public wish message, or just do like this, message already there. Let's take data of type string is equal to hello. Okay, hello from child you take. Okay, real time scenario. Wait, man, wait. I know your urgency. I understood. Wait. We are just discussing basic understanding. If you understand this one, we'll go for complex. I told, right? That's why I create a folder name with simple. I know. Simple. We'll start complex with, after you understand the concept, we will make a real example. Okay. Wait. We have a lot of example on this. First, you need to know the concept. Okay. See here. What we do? Sorry, words. Okay. So data, I have it in the child is hello from child. Okay. So this data I want to send to the parent. Okay. So how to send this data to the parent is, um, okay, how to send is, in the child HTML, you create one button with the class call btn minus success and btn minus sm. Let's say send one button. Okay, when I click on this, click is equal to send to is a method. Let me create this in the child. Observe closely. You need to know the flow first. Okay, fine. Okay, how to send this data to the parent is, you need to create one output variable. See, only child can receive through input, child can send using output. Okay, so what I do is, yeah, it output. So you have to create it output, it output, send the data is equal to, there is something called new event emitter, is there, new event emitter from Angular core, this one, send data is equal to new event emitter. So what I'm doing is, this dot send data dot emit, I'm just providing this dot data. Okay, what I'm doing, when I'm clicking on the button, I got this method executes. So what this method is doing is, this dot send data. So this is the variable which sent to the parent. Send data dot emit this dot data. So this is sending the local data of a child to the parent. Okay, you have done the configuration of the child, but how the parent can receive this send data is, in the parent you can create some variable to accept it. Okay, so public, um, what is the variable you create? Text of type string. Nothing, no value. It has to come from the child. Okay, and this text I want to display on my here.
Yeah. Could you please explain what event emitter dodge?
What is
What event emitter dodge? Event
e-
emitter.
event emitter is a function. So which is going to send data from parent to child, that is used for interaction purpose.
I
Wait,
mean,
I tell you.
is it necessary to we need to mention in the child class at that input and at that output? Both we need to mention in the child class.
Yes, because child itself is receiving input, child itself is sending is output. So data is receiving in the child, right? Data is getting in the child is input. Data is sending from child is output. And same type of situation if you do with this one, if you're receiving something from app to the parent, input you have to declare in the parent. And from parent you are sending to the app, at output you have to declare in the parent. So everything with this
Both we
one.
need to mention in the child class at that input and at that output.
Both you have to display here if you're dealing with the parent.
Parent to child we are mentioning at that input in the
Yeah.
child class.
Yes.
If we are providing data from child to parent,
Huh.
at that output also we need to mention in the child class only.
Yeah, yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah. So I got a variable called text, and that text I have here. Let me check. It is just empty. Okay. So when I click on the send button, I want to send data to the parent. So how you configure is extra send data is equal to text. Okay. I think that is equal to dollar event. Okay, this is the thing. Okay. Now I have configured something else extra. What is that? The send data is what? The send data is the child specific variable, and text is the parent specific variable. Okay. So you need to configure in this way. It means I tell you the flow now. First, let me see the output. See, from child, nothing is there. When I click on the send button, I got the message, hello from child. Actually, this is there in the child. Okay, this was there in the parent. Okay, so parent to child is straightforward, right? Parent to child is straightforward. What is that? In the parent, you declare a variable, and this you want to substitute to the child. What you have done? Simply, you made a property is equal to value. So the parent data you have substitute directly to the property, and this property belongs to at input variable of child, and that you can receive a data whatever you provide from the parent. But reverse is something difficult. What is that is, now in the child I have some data I have it. So this data I want to send to the parent. Okay, so how to send to the parent is, you need to declare one at output, okay, one event emitter, and there you have to call this dot the send data, this event emitter dot emit. You have to execute this with the data, just like a function call you have to do it. Okay, and this particular variable is make it available to the parent, but this class cannot access by the parent HTML. So you have to configure this is here. Sorry, this one. The send data is equal to, this is the event emitter is equal to text event. So this text belongs to the parent. So parent is having a text. So this is actually receiving data from the child. Okay. When you want to receive data from the child, nothing to declare here. When you want to receive something from the parent, then you have to declare as at input. You're sending this data to its parent, then you have to declare as output. Okay, so this text has configured with send data. So send data, if you just press the control, it will belongs to the child specific output sending to the parent, and this text belongs to the parent specific variable. So my the send data emitting what, it is sending what, this dot data. So this particular data is sending to uh, the parent text variable, and that's what I'm receiving, and that's what I'm displaying in the place of from child. So if you can see, from the parent I got this, and when I click on this button I got in the parent. So this how generally the parent and child relationship works. I know it looks little complex, yeah, because I wanted to make it very simple. That's why I made this example. We will see, don't worry. There are realistic examples also there. real-time examples also there. We'll see them, but you need to know the
Yeah,
concept first.
Naveen,
Huh.
one more doubt. How can we differentiate which file is the parent file and which file is the child file?
See, in app component, we declare parent.
Okay.
Okay, it means in the app component, first we configure the parent. This is the relationship. This
Okay.
is connected. And in the parent, if you go to HTML, I configure child. It means
Okay.
what? Child is configured inside a parent. So this is the structure.
Okay.
Okay, like that. Okay, fine. So I know it's very simple example. Let's make it something complex example, little complex. Okay, what is that is I want something like this, not just this one. Uh, can we take this as a notes? One second. Let me save this. Uh, component interaction. Okay, I saved it. I have it somewhere. Component interaction copy. Let's keep in the. I create one notes folder. In that I'll paste it. So it'll be easy for you to understand. Don't add to Git. Okay, so it is easy to understand the process. Yeah. Now, yeah, let's make something complex. What I do is I tell you the plan and then I'll talk about it. Plan is
Sir,
I want
explain about event emitter.
which one?
Event emitter. Event
Event
emitter.
event emitter is to send data from child to parent. That's it. Nothing much about it. Suppose here this one event emitter is a what's the problem? It was proper, right? It was proper, right? That's the
Sir,
problem.
output does not have function symbol.
Parenthesis.
Ah,
Parenthesis.
yeah, yes, correct. Yeah, fine. So event emitter is a function which is to send data. Okay, so dot emit is a function. This is going to send data from child. Actually, for in the process of interaction, we'll use this. Okay, so send from parent to child, because why we have used this emitter is, see here, if you can understand. Suppose in the parent, suppose in the parent, see in the parent we have child is configured, right? So from parent to child directly you can send, but in the child, in the child there is no parent configured at all. Okay, so if no parent is configured, how you send it? How you send is this way. You have to take the event emitter and you'll push it to the parent, and the same story also you configure in the parent only, like this. This is the place where child to parent, parent to child also configured here only. This is the like a mediator from parent to child, child to, it's a bridge. Okay, going forward you understand more clearly. Let's close all. Okay, let's make another example. I want something like this. I want make a nice card. In the card I will make one text box. Okay, and next I need to create another card. In that also I have one text box. Okay, generally what happen, let's take like this black color is the parent, this is child. I think you can understand. So generally what happen, in the parent level one text box is there. In that whatever I'm typing, that will display obviously in the parent generally, right? But now what's my concept is, whatever I'm typing in the parent level text box, I want to display that in the child level data. Okay, and moreover reverse also. Suppose when I'm typing something in the child, that thing I want to display in the parent level, and that too as soon as I'm typing. Okay, so what is the realistic in this is, generally if you understand this concept you can make one real-time example. What is the real-time example is, for example I show you. I think I have. Okay, I just show you. We will see that example also. Um, there is something called GitHub search. Okay, this is the GitHub search example. Yeah, see here in the GitHub search, this search box is one component. See here, the search box, the search button, everything is one component. This card is one component, this is one component, and all are independent. So when I do a search in this particular search box, then this component, I get the result, and that result I pass it here, and that result I pass here. So it's like parent and child, because uh, just think in Angular way. What Angular does, you have to divide your application multiple pieces. This is one piece component, this is one piece component, this one piece component. So this data you have to proceed send to the child, and this child to this interaction you need to know. Okay, and one more example is there is something called contact app. I think I have contact app, not there. Yeah, contact app. Yeah, this one. This is even next level. Okay, this is one contact app. In this contact app, what happens? I have some data. Okay, this is one component, and this is one component, this card. Now what happened when I click on a particular row, this data will display. When I click on a particular row, this here that data will display in this side. And you know what? This card and this card no way connected each other. This is separate, independent. It's not child of it. It's not parent of it. Okay. This both are child of the parent called app component. Okay. It's like this relation. So this will send data to the parent level, and from parent you will receive data to the child. Okay, that way. So you need to know this concept. These are like real-time example. We will go there, but before that we need to discuss something. Slowly we have to go there. Okay. Yeah. So now just parent and child relationship. If both are independent, also I tell you how to. If this is separately declared somewhere outside, also how to configure. I tell you. Okay. Just see now. So now parent card, child card. Let me start with, in the components I create another folder called, not this one. I create another folder called complex. Okay. In this I want to create two components. Open terminal, nggc parent card, parent card. Okay. And then one more, nggc child card. What we given, parent capital card. Okay. Child card. Actually, you have to give hyphen. Okay. So now let's make a connection. So let me go to app component. I don't need this. Let me comment that out. Let me connect it one, that is app parent card. Okay. So you get the basic information call. Come on, bro, refresh now. No refresh. Okay. Parent card works. Let me design the parent card now. So parent card HTML, I'll make something. One container. One container. One row. Single column. One card header, card body. Okay, you get this card. Yeah, let's add some margin top 3. Yeah, here I write bg success text white. Okay, inside you have, so p dot h to 4 parent card. Okay, fine. So in the parent card, I'll be taking one text box. In the card body, I'll take one form. In that I have a text box. Let's make it bootstrap form group, and one input text form control. Let's make a placeholder. Actually, no placeholder required. Okay, fine. And you have a text box. Okay, a huge text box. Fine. Now what I do is, whatever I'm typing, I want to display in the parent itself. what you do. Let me give some body also. BG light I'll take. Okay. So in the parent, whatever I'm typing, I want to display in the parent itself. So how to connect first? In the parent, I'll take one variable, public. Um, let's take what? Parent input, or let's take one text of type string is equal to empty string, and let me connect this text to two-way to my HTML input element. So what we do, we'll add a name is equal to something text, and also ng model two-way text. Okay, it is connected. And if you want to see the value, what you do, if you want to see the value, you can make an expression like this. I say text. Okay, just to see the value, I can make somewhere in the next line. Okay, to see the value, I have text. Now check. Yeah, here. So whatever I am typing, I am able to display in the parent. That is very simple. We know that already, right? Fine. So whatever you are typing, you are able to display in the child. Fine. Let's make a same setup in the child also. Then I tell you child to parent, parent to child. Let's make a same setup in the child. So what I do in the card body, in this card body, I will configure after the form. I'll configure app child card. Okay. If you configure, what happen? If you configure, you get child works. Okay. Let me design the card now. So let's make here in HTML. I'll make one container, one row, single column, one card header, same setup, card body. Okay, let's make some other color. So BG secondary text white p.h4 child card. Okay, and this is also BG light. Okay, so let's check once. In the parent box, I have a child box. Okay, now in the child box, actually we can give some colors also different. Can we do one thing? Instead of BG danger, I'll take something reddish color so you understand it is different. And yeah, that's fine. But not looks good now. Okay, let's say BG info. Okay, fine. Now in the child also I want to make a same setup. Okay, so what you do in the child, you can write a form, one division, division with a class called form group, and one input type is equal to text with the class called form control, and let's make some no placeholder required. Yeah, so I have one text box in the child also. So child connect with child only. How is here I'll make another variable called public text. Here also text. Um, very poor in declaring variables. String is equal to empty. Okay, it's a child text. You can take proper child text. Okay, fine. And this child text, let me connect with two-way to my input. How is this? Give the name, not name as project name. Name is something child text, some name, and ng model. Ng model is child text. Okay, and if you want to see the value, what you do, expression, but it's complete black color, you can't see that. Let's make some small tag with a class called text to white. I'll do in that I'll make it child text. Okay, it is binded and I want to see the value also. Now check, parent is having its own data, child is having its own data, so it is working. Child is having its own data, parent is having its own data, working. Now what is my plan is I want to make it reverse. What is reverse is, if I am typing in the child, I want to display the value in the parent. Okay, and one more is when I am typing in the parent, I want to display as soon as I type in the child. Okay, for that we will do some sort of setup. What is that is in the parent where you want to display. I want to display not just like this. I'll just make some p.h4 from, I'll just make something from child like this. I just make some setup from child. So this place I want to display. Okay, this side. And here for child, what you do, same setup copy in the child specific card body in the place of here from parent. So it is easy for you to understand. Yeah. Okay. This is not proper. Let's say text to white. Okay. Fine. So from child, from parent, and also see from parent displayed in the card of the child. This is displayed in the parent card. Okay. So now let's start parent to child. If I'm typing something, I want to display that in the place of here. So how to provide this data to child? So child has to receive the data from parent. It means declare a variable at input. So in the child, what I do, I declare a variable at input. At input is notation. Yeah, at input, what you do, same text only of type string. Okay, no value. This is. You can also make something here. Receives data from parent. Okay, so I have a variable, and this variable and the parent variable declared somewhere where parent data is what, text, child data also text. Okay, how to declare is in the child I'll make text. This is child specific and this is parent specific. Okay, so this text belongs to parent and this text belongs to child. Okay, now a child has received the text, and that text where you display, I want to showcase in the place of from parent here text. Okay, now check. Now check when I'm typing. See, whatever I'm typing in the parent, I can automatically receive that in the child. So this is straightforward. Parent to child is very straightforward. Okay, fine. And next, from child to parent, if you want to send something, there should be some event. Always remember, anything directly you can't send it. Just like see here, this is sending because it is just that configuration. You can send it. If you are changing it, automatically it updates. But from child to parent, if you want to send inside the child, there is no parent configured, right? You can't access the parent here. So there should be some event so that you can trigger to the parent. Okay, so for this purpose, what I will do is in the child, it's not ng model. It's not ng model. Can we take will you write input or ng model? Okay, fine. Leave it. It is okay. In this, what I do is I want to send something to parent, right? So send something to parent. Receive is input. Sending is output. That both will be in the child only. Output. So let's say send data something or send text, whatever everything, text something. Yeah, new event emitter. Okay, it has to import from the core module. Oh, ये क्या है? Node जैसा. Dude, 1 second. Event emitter from here, Angular core. Yeah, so I have taken this. Okay, so when to send it to the parent is 1 minute. This I want to configure to the parent to receive it. So parent should receive my data, right? In which variable you receive? Parent, I'll configure something. Parent, I'll configure public data of type string, nothing assigned. Okay, this is the data you have to receive. And from how you send is send data. Okay, so how you configure both? Here, send data is equal to my data is equal to, actually it is dollar event, like this you have to configure. So data, this belongs to parent, and this send data belongs to child. Okay, but at what time, at what situation I want to send it is when I'm typing. So it should be an event. Okay, it must be a function, from there you will emit it. Okay, so for that reason what I do in this, I'll make one input event. When you're typing is an input event, then I'll say uh, input text, one function, my local input text function. Here I'll make that method public input text. Yeah, so from here I want to emit the data. So how to emit? This dot send data dot emit what? This dot text. We already seen that. No, not text, that is child text. So this is what two-way configured, right? NG model two-way configured is child text. So that child text I am emitting to parent using send data, and that is already configured here, and that is receiving to the parent is using data variable, and this data variable I want to display in the parent as here data. That's it. Now check. I think it has to work. Yeah, let me try. See, it's working. I'm typing in the child, it is able to get in the parent. Okay, so let me type something. Hello, I am from parent. Okay, here, hello, I am from child, like this. Okay, so now at least somehow you understand the flow. Okay, but I'm very poor in declaring variable names, little confusion with variable names, but that is a flow. Okay, let me go something even next level. Something next level. Uh, okay, you want p text and c text? Yeah, you can make it. Okay, what that person is expecting is this text है ना यहाँ पे. They're expecting is a p text. Okay, if it is a p text parent, what we do? This is p text. This is also p text parent text. Child, what you do? C text. Okay, receiving, and also what you configure? C text. Okay, I made as your request parent text, child text. Now check, parent to child is working. Wait, not working. How come? Oh, something went wrong. P text now, parent level. P text. Okay. Providing to child C text. This is C text, and that C text. Oh, okay, okay. I have not displayed that C text here. It is must be C text. Okay, fine. Now check. Yeah, it's working, and this is also working. Done. So let's make something even complex example, something next level on than that. What is next level is, okay, as we discussed, sir, this is configured in this. You're sending from parent to child, child to parent. That's well and good, happy. But now something else. What is that? I don't want to configure the component in the child only. I want to keep it separate outside. Let's make two different components. For example, let me new. I don't want to save this. Yeah, new. There is one component here, and there is one component here. Why I'm writing like this is this both are not in connection at all. This is not a parent to child. This is not a child of the parent. Okay. Assume this is client. Okay. This is the server, not the actual server, but I'm just telling server. Okay, two separate components are there. Don't think like server and client relationship. Just one card. Okay, this is client card, and this is server card. Okay, two separate. Now what is my plan is, I have some data. Okay, So I'll have a button. I'll have some data here. I have a button called send, and here also one button called send. Okay, now plan is in the client I have some data. When I click on send button, this data should appear here, and then server also have some data. When I click on this button, it has to appear here. Okay, and that too not in connection. Sir, if both are not in connection, how can we send data? How can we send data is, yes, of course, these both are not in connection, but these both are connected to someone else. Who is that file? Who is that fellow is app component, because every component has to be there in a root. Okay, so app component is a root. Okay, so now app component. Okay, so this is the app component. So app component is a parent for everyone. So this is connected to app component, and this is connected to app component. Okay, so now these both are not in connection, but these both are connected to app. This is a relationship. Fine. So if you want to send data from this level to this level, what you do? This way not possible. So what you do? You have to send the data from, yeah, say here, parent. Okay, this is become child and this parent. So you have to send there, and from there to here, extra step. Okay, next I have some data here. This is also same story, reverse. Let's take like this. You have some data here. This you have to send to the parent again, from there to child, extra step. Okay, we have seen till now only app to child, child to app, only this connection we see. Now what, this is in this much connection, from here to parent, parent to child, child to parent, parent to child. This is the thing. Okay, so okay, let's make a same example like this. Client card, server card connect with app, both should be configured to app component. Okay, fine, let's see this example so you really understand the pain of it. But this is can be optimized in an advanced concept called NGRX, that's a state management, because only for few one or two components state management is this much complex. So if in future you have hundreds of components in the real application, so how can you send data from parent to child? It's highly complex to maintain the state. That's the reason why in Angular there is a separate module called NGRX. And same story for React.js is Redux. In React.js it's called Redux for state management, Angular is called NGRX, but behind the story is same. I mean, there's a lot of concepts out there. Okay, so now let's talk about this story. I need to have this card, this card. Okay, fine. Can we? 1 second. Let me close all. Complex over. Let me go to HTML. I will comment out this guy also. Okay. Now let me create some other components. What is that? Client card, server card. Okay, I create another folder called interaction. Okay, in the interaction what I do is uh, two components. One is client card, server card, same like this. Okay, how? Let me right click, open in terminal. Yeah, NGGC client hyphen card. Client card. Next one more is server card. Okay, so this is done. Yeah, so now how to configure is, both you have to configure in the app only. Client you have to configure in the app, server also configure in the app. These two not in connection. Okay, so let's say complex interaction. So later we'll see that application called contact app. Okay, that is same this type of setup only. Yeah, so what I do here, one container, one row, and call MD4, and in this one card. Okay, no card. Let's make the app component app not child card, client card. Okay, and then one more call md something two you take. Just empty it is division the class called call md4 I'll take. In that I'll take app server card. Like see here, I configured client card, server card, and these two no connection. Okay, fine. Now check. You get the client card and server card. Let's make a design each. So start with the client card, HTML. I make one container, no container. Let's start with the card directly. One card header. Okay. BG success text white. Let me give some gap. Okay. So in the client card, p.h4 client card. Okay, fine. In the client card, I'll be having one text box to send to the parent. Okay, let's make one form. Whatever you type there, I'll send to the parent. Okay, input type is equal to text. Oh, sorry, it's a bootstrap setup. Okay, you have one text box, and along with that, one nice button that is send button. You can take a simple button, or you will take a form submission, anything. Let's take form submission. Input type is equal to submit class btn minus success btn minus sm. Value goes to send. Okay, let's make this nice arrow. Where you make the arrow? I tag with the class fe minus. But inside the button I want it. Submit button you can make it that way. Okay, leave it. Not required. Next, in the footer, I'll do something. Footer, I'll just make a message p dot lead. I'll make from server. Okay. Okay, whatever you receive from server, I want to display here. Okay, so same setup I wanted server side also. Okay, so copy everything in the server card HTML. Replace. This is server card. These are all okay. Colors btn hyphen secondary, and this is btn hyphen secondary, and from client. Okay, so now see you have two cards separated, not in connection. So whatever I am typing here, when I click on send, this data should be displayed here. Same story, when you type here, I want display here. Okay, so first let's start with the interaction. First let me make a data binding for its own component, and then we'll send to the parent its own component connection. How to do in the server card? Let's create public server text of type string is equal to empty. Okay, server text. Let me copy. Go to server HTML here. Let's say in name server text ng model server text, and if you want you can display that here only. Server text. I just want to see what is updated or not. So now check. If I'm typing, dude, where is the data? Are correct? No. Server having something. That's what display here. What is the problem? Are
You are typing in client card.
I guess you are writing in client card.
client card? The server now.
Type in server card, na?
Okay. Sorry.
Hey.
Correct. Yeah, I was okay. Yeah, it is working. Client server side. Yeah, let's make client. Okay, with confusion. C text of type string is equal just empty. Okay, and the C text I'll configure in the child here. ये क्या है? Name is C text some name ng model. Let's add C text. You want to display C text. Okay, now check. So their own component has configured now. So it is working. This is also working. Okay, but I don't want to see that here. Not looks good. Don't display. We know it's config. It is binded. So no need to display. It's only for testing purpose. You write it like that. Yep. Now the plan is when I'm typing, ये जो data I want to display here. Not typing. When you click on the button, then display here. Okay, so what to do is do one thing. When I click on this button, I want display here. These two not in connection. So what you do when I click on this button, let me. Okay, when you click on this button, so data you have to send to the parent. Okay, when you click on the button, and from there add to the child. This will become child the app. So send to parent. How to send to parent? Here you want to send to parent from child to parent. How? First close the server side. Start with the client now. Yeah, from child to parent. So what I do is I create one output variable because it is sending to parent. 8 output send parent. Okay, is equal to new event emitter from Angular core. Okay, and when I click on the button, where is the button? Here. When you submit the form actually, so submit this is submit method. Okay, click on this. I create that method here. Public submit. Yeah, here you have to send it. How to send and what to send? This dot send parent dot emit what? C text. This dot C text. So when I click on submit, my local data sending to the parent. Okay, so how to configure this is who is the parent for my client card app component. So declare this in the app. Go to app. Somewhere here we have to write. Okay, so you need to have something to receive from the child, right? In the app.ts file, app.ts app component.ts. Yeah, they need to have something to receive, not this one. Okay, so I'll create a variable public from client. Okay, it's a nice name. Client of type string, nothing to assign. And while receiving from child, nothing to declare. Okay, so from child should have data. How to configure that? Here, send something was there, na? Send parent from client is equal to dollar event. Correct. So now parent has received my data with a variable called from client. Okay. So I want to see the from client data where you display somewhere outside. I'll write somewhere outside all this. I'll write P. Let's make from client. Let's see somewhere outside empty here. Okay. So I'll type my name and I click on send. See somewhere outside of all these guys, I got that name in the parent level. But this one I want to display in the here. how to display this parent data here in the next level. So we pass to the parent, from there to child. So child means child has to receive it using input. Okay, child is what? Now server. Go to server, HTML, TS file. Yes, you have to receive from the child. Receive is at input, uh, what is that? Receive text, type string. Okay, received text. Okay, uh, fine, and received text copy. I will display where you want to display the received text here. Received text here. Okay, so I have configured received text, received from the parent, and that I display in the place of client location. Okay, now this received text has to configure parent level to receive it, where parent is having from child. I want to configure that receive text, not like this, receive text is equal to from child. So from child is there in the parent, right? Already we have seen, and that I'm sending to the iska child with a variable called receive text that will receive. That's what has configured here. Now check the flow. Okay, I say the see here right side. Okay, my name, I click on send. Wow, I got data right side. Fine, and I don't want to display that here, not looks good. Parent level not display, this is just for confirmation purpose. Okay, so let's say hello from client send. I got it here. Okay, so same story you do from server to client. So you type something here, click on send, I want to receive here. Okay, so that process you try. Okay, simple. What I have done, the flow from client to server, same flow you do here. Okay, you have to push it to the parent, from there to send to client. You have to do that. So just try that. Okay, as a task you can try. If not, I tell you tomorrow again. You can do this. Okay, that's about interaction. Okay, even one more interaction also we'll see. Before we start with the interaction, next example also interaction only, but I want to do that interaction with something called services. Okay, next concept goes to Angular is services. Angular services. Okay, this is something next level of this one. What is the services? Services is a special class which is holding the data and also the actual business logic. Okay, Angular service represents as a special class that holds the data and also the business logic of your application. For example, see here. Let me delete this. Yeah, for example, if you want to design something on the page, so what you do, you will make a component. Okay, component. So what is actually component? Component is a piece of UI. Okay, keep the word UI. So component is a small portion or small piece of UI. So UI means this this component should only contain the data, only the event handling and data binding. Just to bind the data, what is the minimal data will be there. Data binding purpose, event handling purpose, you can use the component. But I need to write some sort of business logic. I need to write some sort of calculation, business logic. So business logic, where can we write? Where can we write the business logic? So no component should hold the business logic. All the business logic should be getting from some separate uh, class that is called as service. So every component is connected to services. Okay. So the flow goes like this. UI component having connection with service, and this service also contains a lot of story. What is the functionality of the services? It will do a business logic and also data. You never maintain the data. See previous example, I think in ng for example, we have taken some person list, right? So person list array we maintain in the component only, but generally you never maintain such type of data in the component level. Component is just to bind data to the UI, that's it. Okay, any extra thing will be service. So this keep hold of the data, and even in future what service also does is this is having connection with the backend server. Okay, so this service itself is responsible to connect to the server, fetching data, and that data we can inject to the component. Okay, so this is the flow, and later you will be having something called server. Okay, it can be Node.js server, Java server, whatever server.
Every
Okay,
component is connected to service.
yes,
Every component.
every component, and this can be multiple services, multiple components also. Like there are two components cannot connect to one service. Suppose here.
So data can be shared among these components
Yes,
via
yes,
service.
yes,
Okay.
correct.
Then no need to do that parent child.
No need to do the parent child, but yeah, I tell you, this service is to get data and receive data from actually from server and inject it to these guys. But yeah, parent and child relationship also will come into picture when is you have something here. Okay, anyway, you got data from service, you have display, but when some event is triggered, if you want to update it server level, you send to the service. But I want to, when an event is triggered, only the local data I want to send to here. Okay, so this component to component interaction is also happen. Okay, if you want to receive data from server to the component level, use the service. Okay, and component to component interaction, yes, you don't need to use a service, you can just do a component interaction. Okay, I tell you, this concept is there in the contact app. You will receive data from the server to here, and from there only this interaction will happen. Only one copy of data will deal here. Okay, so I will make the whole example now. So first let's understand what is this service and how to create it. How to create a service? Tell me how to create a component. NGGC and then name of the component, right? Like that, same story, service also. Service, how to do NGGS and the name of the service. Okay, just one class. Okay, fine. Now let me create this setup. Um, I want to do a separate example. Okay, separate application. Okay, so what's the time? 7:20. Okay, as I said, daily class up to 8 o'clock. Okay, fine. So let me stop the server. Okay, it will fine. Exit everything. Exit. Okay. Let me take a backup and then we'll discuss services concept separately. So what you need: src folder, angular.json, package.json. Anything else required? Nothing. Just copy. src only notes is there. Go to D drive workspace. Where you keep Angular evening fundamentals. Yeah, let's create a fresh folder. 07 hyphen angular hyphen component interaction. Okay, in that I'll paste it. Okay, I got it, and this folder not required. Yep. So let me delete the things what you want to delete in the app. Components not required, and HTML you delete a lot of things. Oh, this entire story not required, and the heading I want Angular with services, and what app module. I don't need all this, guys, not required, and these things not required. Then it's back to original. Anything else? That's it. Let me start the server. CLS npm start. Okay. Okay, now the plan is service. Okay, this is the flow actually. So let's make one service and two components. So how they receive data. For example, for example, for example, I have one component. Okay, that component name is employee list component. Okay, this is a component. Next, I have one more component called employee card component. Okay, employee list component to employee card component. Okay, now in the employee, okay, fine. Yeah, in the employee list component, what is my plan is I want to display data in a table format. In employee card component, I want to display data in a card format. Card means for every one person, one card will display. Here, one for every one employee, one complete table with rows and columns will display. Table format, card format. But the thing is, what is the data you display in table format? What is the data you display in a card format? Data is same. Data is same. Same number of employees, same data. Okay. So if you keep data in component level, you will display. You keep data in component level, you will display. Previously, as per our concept, we have discussed that concept only. We can keep the component to the TS level of that component and will display. Fine. But now, if you keep the same data in two components, it's like data redundant, data duplicate, right? So the actual flow is you don't need to keep your data in the component level. You can keep both the data in one single location. That's called one service. So service is a data provider. Let me give some. अरे इसका class क्या है? Employee card. Okay. So you'll be having a nice service. These are all components. This is service. Okay. I can just name it as employee service. Okay. So now data holds in the service level. Okay. So this service is the data provided to this guy and also this guy. Once you receive, you display however you want. Okay. So let's see how to create a component, how to create a service, and then how to make the story. Okay, back to here. It is started. Close all this. Yeah, I create new folder called components. Okay, and I create another folder called services. Services. Yeah, services. So once you understand the services concept, we'll make interaction with services. Okay, then we will moving forward to the HTTP, how to get data from the server. Till now, I keep data in service level, and later I tell you how this service can connect to the server, Node.js server to get data or online Google server to get data. Okay. So component, two components, employee list, employee card. How to create? Right click on this, open in terminal. Nggc employee hyphen list. Employee list. Come on. Yeah, done. Next, nggc employee hyphen card. Okay, I got it. Yeah, let's do only component level and then service level. Okay, let's start with employee list. Okay, I want to configure that with app component somewhere here. Someone mute it. Employee list. Okay, so if you make employee list, you get the employee list works. Okay, so what I do in the employee list is I'll make some setup, one container and margin top 3, one row, one column, p.h3 employee, because we never compromise any UI. Okay. Okay. lorem 30 tab. Okay, so employee list. Okay, so as of now, what I do, I will create data in the local only, then I will transfer to service level. Okay, so I create data in the local only. How to create a public employees of type any array, because I don't want to create a interface for this. Any array is equal to one array I want. Same array what we have done yesterday. Some users array is there. Na? Where is that? Yeah, new desk. User. Yeah, users. This is my data. Copy. I'll keep that here. Semicolon. Okay. So as of now, I have data in the component level only. Yeah. So I have data, and this data I have in the component level only. I display in a nice table format here. We have seen this yesterday, but I'll do one more time. Another row, single column. How to display table? Table row. No, table header we take. T head, table row, and then table header. I'll do one thing shortcut. Th star 6 tab. Okay, let's make a nice classes. Class table striper, table hover, text center, and text I don't know, not text table success. इसको भी text success matching. Okay, T head. Let's make a class called dark. Okay, I need here serial number and image, the photo, and the person name, and what person age, person email, person location. Okay, let me check. Yeah, you got it. And I want to display the data in a table format. How to do? T body table row. Okay, and then table data. So I want to loop through all the records of this array. What I do, ng repeat for each row. So star ng for let employee of employees. Okay, and each employee specific data I'll display. Let's say employee dot. I know the direct properties of it because I regularly use that. So I think it is login dot uuid. Okay, let's check. Again, same problem like yesterday. Okay, thank God not working. Okay, I got this, but I don't want this much. I want this last 4 digits or 5 digits. You can actually use the filter. Oh, we are not discussing the filter concept. Don't worry, we'll discuss the filter concept tomorrow. You can just say slice, slice, slice 5, comma 6. 5 is something different. 5, comma 6. I think it's something wrong. Okay, then I'll make a normal regular this one dot substring of oh, don't waste time much here. Dot length -4. Okay, this regular JavaScript I did. You get last 4 digits. Okay, same way display photo, image, and all. So photo, how to display? This code I shared yesterday. So image src, it is a property binding. Employee dot I think it is picture dot large. You get the picture of every employee. Okay, let's make it a small picture. That is alt nothing, width some 50 and height also some 50. Okay, so let's make it here and name, age, email. Let's make a td name. I think it's employee dot name dot first, and then employee dot name dot last. Okay, so you get the name. Fine. And then one more, td employee dot I think dob dot age and the years. Next, I need email. Email is direct actually, employee dot email. You can refer the JSON. You understand the flow. Employee dot I think location dot city. Okay, so let's check. You get the data. Fine. So employee list is a component that will display a same amount of data in a list format like this. Nice. Next, I want one more component, that is employee card, that will display same person's data in a card format. One by one card it will display on the screen. Let's do that one. Okay, what you do in the app component, above that, let's add app employee card. Later will convert to service. Okay, card. Card, how it works? Employee card works. Okay, let me go to the card ones. HTML. One container, one row, single column. Let's give some margin of 3. Okay, p dot h 4 or 3 are 4. Employee cards. Okay, and p dot lead lorem 30 tab. Okay, nice color. Text danger color. Okay, got it. And I think it's p dot h3. Some small text. Yeah, so here I want to display same amount of data in a card format. Where is the data? In the TS file. And how to get it? Same from here. So I'll make a new one more copy. Okay. So here, as per design, here one copy, here one copy. Later we'll make single copy. So let's go from here to here. Oh, it's a long story. Shift to down. Too much time. I'll do one thing. Keep a cursor up to here. Copy. So go to card TS file. I will paste it. You have data. Okay, employees. You know, my WebStorm is very intelligent. Not my everyone WebStorm is very intelligent. It says, see, what? It says actually something called duplicate. Uh, okay, once you start using, it says duplicate number of lines. Okay, very intelligent. Okay, so this display here, how? Row call MD 3. Okay, for row, each row 4 cards I want. Okay, call MD 3, one card header, and then card body. Okay, now card header with BG danger text to white. Yeah, so I want to repeat each column. Okay, I want to repeat each column based on the elements. So what you do, star ng for let employee of employees. Okay, so each employee, it will repeat the card. Let's check once what is come. See, lot of cards has come, but there is no gap between the card. Margin top 3. Okay, so due to ng4, I got these many cards, huge cards. Scheme. Yeah, each card I want name. So let's make p.h6 name. How to do? Employee, where employee dot name dot first, and also employee dot name dot last. Now check, every employee name will display on the card. Okay, employee name display. Fine. I want display nice photo also here. Image tag src. I make property binding. Employee dot picture dot large. So you get the image. Oh, very bigger. Let's keep it a small one. I think you can do some medium also there, no? Medium also there. I think it is a medium image. Okay, small image, fine. Alignment you can do that. You can do a simple text center somewhere. Text center. Okay, now display just data below. I will quickly finish it. I'll make one UL tag, li tag with the class called list group. The class called list group item. Yeah, I display name, uh, name, age, email, location. Name already there, so let's make only age, email, email, location. Enough.
You have removed the name, right?
Name is there in the card header, na? That's why. Okay, age, employee.dob.age. Good man, you're following exactly every row. That's good actually. Employee dot email and employee dot location dot city. Okay, done with the design. Now check. Where is that? Yeah, email. Not looks good, na? Email display like one of the row. Yeah, let's delete this name. Actually, you have to make a small tag or something. Fine. It's not able to fit their email. Fine. So we got data in a table format and also same data in a card format. Same data, right? Caspian, soon something. Same here. Caspian, same person. Cap. Okay. So problem here is this component having its own data, this component having its own data. The problem is you don't need to maintain data in a component level, and also here data duplicate. So let's keep service to maintain the data in a single copy and let's available the data here. Sir, how? Now let's create a service, employee service. How to create a service? We understand, not this one. We understand that is nggs name of the service, employee service. So where we create is go to the services folder, right click, open in terminal. Okay, nggs for service. Okay, you can do ng generate service or shortcut is nggs space employee space employee. Okay, it is created. This service doesn't contain anything, just one TS file and one spec style sheet. Sorry, it's a unit testing file. Okay, now check in the services. I have this one class. Okay, something injectable. This can be injected to the components. Okay, so now what I do, I will have a data. I just cut all my data. Let me grab the whole data. One second. This is the data, right? This entire data, I will cut it. Okay, I will keep in my service. See, in my service, I kept it. And in the service, I create one method. What is that? Is public fetch all employees is a method. So that is going to return this dot employees. Okay, I have all the employees in my service file. That is going to return you all the files when you call this method. Okay, fine. Now in my card, I missed something, right? So now here public employees of type any array is equal to empty array. I'll take. Okay, no data. So card component, if you don't have data, what happen? Nothing will display. No data, right? So array is empty. So nothing will display. And same story for my employee list component also. I delete everything. I'll say public employees of type any array is equal to empty array. So here also I have a empty data. So empty data, empty, everything is empty. Okay, you can make condition also. If you have empty array, then don't display the card header also. For example, you don't want to display the card header also. You can make for the table or row somewhere. You can write a condition ngif employees dot length is greater than 0, then only display, otherwise don't display. So if you do that, even that also will not display. Okay, fine. So employee card no data, employee list no data, fine. Now let's see, my component is very clean, this component also very clean, no data. But data, how you get? Simple. How data you will get is, there is a concept, there's a what do you call that, design pattern. There is a design pattern in available in Angular, that is something called dependency injection. Okay, there's a concept called dependency injection. Through this you can access. Simply, I don't have data, right? So data is there where? Data is there in the service. I want to access this data and keep it here. How to access? In this class, I have this method. Generally, if you have a separate class with method, what you do? You create an object for that class, and using that object dot function you call, you will get. Generally, what you do is you will create an object of the class, and then you will call the method to get the data. So you will create object yourself and then call the method. This is general way. Okay. Uh, so it means your component is dependent on service. Okay, because you need some data from service, right? So your component is dependent on service. So you create the dependence object and you will use it. So what dependency injection says is, you don't need to bother of creating an object. Okay, so you just need to tell Angular that, hey Angular, I want an object of the service. Okay, if you just tell Angular, Angular itself will create the object and give you, and you can straight away use it. So you don't need to bother of creating object by yourself. So you don't need to look for the dependency. Okay, so you just need to inform the Angular, hey, I want service. It will give you service. It will inject to you automatically. Okay, you just need to inform it. Sir, where we configure that story? Simple. Go to your card component here in the constructor. Always remember, any object you want to use it, you have to declare in the constructor. Okay, if you declare it, automatically Angular will give you. Okay, how to declare? So private employee service, employee service of type capital employee service. So this is imported from the employee services folder. See, I have declared employee service here. So if you declare like this, automatically that service is injected to you. Okay, fine. Sir, if that is injected, how can I get the data? How can you get the data? Actually, when you want to get the data is when my component is fully loaded. See, when my component is fully loaded, then I want to get the data. So there is one always, you might have seen this one, ng on init. Sir, what is this ng on init? Is the life cycle method. We will discuss the life cycle hooks. So this is the life cycle method. This is the inbuilt method of every component. This is the method gets executed whenever the Angular component is fully loaded. Okay, whenever the Angular component is fully loaded, then this component is executed. What about the constructor? So by the time component is getting created, before loading it will create, after create it will load. Okay, so by the time Angular component is created, constructor, after creation completely it will load right on the screen. So that is called ng on init. Okay, sir, when you want to get the data, when you want to have some data in employees is whenever my component is fully loaded, then I want to get data from service. So what you have to do is you simply say this dot employees, my local employees value is equal to, I already got this object through dependency injection, employees service dot, what is the method? Fetch employees. That's it. So see, it's very clean. You are getting the data from employee service dot fetch employees. If you go there, that will give you the local employees. Okay, so it's very clean. Now you check, you got data. Okay, so you never maintain the data in a component level. Using the service, you will fetch data. And same story, you have to do it for this guy Who is that? Employee list also. So employee list, what you do? One second, let me finish and then you do it. Yeah, employee list, what you do? You just declare the dependency private employee service of type employee service. So this is injected to you. And when you want to receive the data in the component is loaded. So this dot employees is equal to this dot employee service, my local service dot fetch employees. That's it. So you got the data field. Now check. It has to refresh. Yeah, this is data. You got
Yeah.
data. Okay, so your component is completely cleaned. And even the same service will also connect to, see here, in fetch employee function, it is getting the local data. In future, what happened? This service is also responsible to connect to the server. So the same fetch employee function will write some sort of code that is like connecting to the server fetch data. Okay, and when you call the function directly, you get data from the server. Okay, so we'll see the HTTP concepts in the next classes. You can ask the question, anybody?
Yeah. Why we are mentioning private in constructor?
Private in the constructor is I don't want to use the service outside of my component. Only I want to use in the same class.
So if I mention the public, what will happen?
If you declare public, you can access the service outside the component also.
How is this
We
possible?
know that, right? Public and private, we know, right? The same story. Private means you can access only in the class. Protected means you can access in the child class and parent class. Public means you can access everywhere.
No, I mean, code will run fine if we
Yeah, it
make
will run
private.
fine. Yeah, it will run fine.
Okay.
It will
And one
run
more
fine.
thing,
Huh.
the expression written in ng init, can it be written anywhere else? Any other method?
Any other method? Okay,
Or
you can. Huh, I tell you. See, ng on init
because we
means,
have object.
yes, understood. I tell you. See, ng on init means whenever the component is fully loaded, then I want get data. I'll do like this. Suppose, sir, I don't want when the page load, I need to have a button. When I click on the button, then I want data. That way also you do. For example, if in the card, if you don't want to do this, okay, this is for just page loaded. Okay, so automatic page load I don't want. I have a button here. When I click on the button, then data I want. So for example, in HTML, where is that? Yeah, below this, I'll make one nice button here. Button with the class btn minus danger btn minus sm. Okay, so get data, one function. Okay, so I will click on this get data is my own method. Instead of ng on init, my own method. So I can create that here outside public get data. It is just type void. It does not read anything. Okay. So what I do is let's take some alerts. Button not button. Button is clicked. Okay. So let's see once. No data. You just have a button. So when I click on the button, I got this function executed, right? Because this is alert is coming from the function only. Fine. So when I click on the button, then I want to display data. So what you do, simply this dot employees is equal to employee service dot fetch employees. Okay, so that time it will populate data, and once it is populated, it will display because this is already binded to the HTML. Okay, it is binded already. So whenever it receive data, it will display. Okay, this binding we'll see now how you have a data and you'll bind it to here expression we have seen. Okay, so now check. I don't have data. I think it's got refresh. I don't have data. When I click on this button, I got data, right? So you can make your own function, but that function has to be executed for certain events, right? And what if this one is no event required? The event for this is page load. Whenever the page loads automatically, you want to get data, then you have to keep it in ng on init. Otherwise, you can make this.
And
Okay.
if we write this expression in constructor,
Uh, you can write in constructor. We never write actually, because by that constructor means what? Constructor means by the time
It is
component is
created.
getting created. Okay,
Hmm.
so by the time it's getting created, employee service object also getting it. So it's not even properly get it. So how can you call it? Actually, it's just local data, so you can call it. I think I can do it, but for server side data you can't do. Okay, let me check. Refresh. I got data. Okay. So this time you can do, because this data is just local to the service. Okay, this data is local to the service. You can do it, but in future the service is going to get data from server side. Okay, if you are receiving data from server side, then you must not keep it in the constructor. This is very eager to fetch data from server, because once a component is fully loaded, then only you will do a server call. That's the thing in Angular. So better you keep that in ng on init. So when the component is fully loaded, I think you understand the DOM concept of jQuery. Also will write something. What is that is on page load, we'll add one document.ready. In jQuery we write an event called document.ready, and we'll do all DOM manipulation thing. So why we write document.ready? So when the when the page is completely loaded, so DOM is complete, DOM structure is completely made, then we can do DOM manipulation. We can get the element, set the element and all. So if element itself is not created, so how can you do the get and set? Obviously you will get the null. Okay, so the same concept here. If the component is fully loaded, it means the DOM is completely structured, then only you can fetch data. Okay, so fetching data you have to set to the variable, right? So by the time variable should be there. So better we'll keep that in ng on init mostly. This is for page loaded event.
And
Okay.
and dependency injection will happen at the time of
Object
constructor
creation, yeah,
I
constructor
mean
creation.
component creation.
Yes, it's
Component
creation.
creation.
Yes, correct. Okay,
All
and that
right.
can be taken by the Angular. Okay,
All right. All
and
right.
yeah. So please say JavaScript. Oh God, Shankar, I really forget every time. Okay, I'll do it. Okay, fine. I think
Hello,
it's
sir.
almost 5 minutes. Tell me.
Can you share that user.json file in this code?
User.json. Okay, okay, good, good. I will copy this. I keep in the notes. Okay. Yeah, notes I have.
Okay.
Sir,
Okay.
what of those life cycle method you will
We
going?
will. I'll come back to this lifecycle methods separate class.
Okay.
Okay, so life cycle methods is pending, pipes is pending. Pipes very important concept
Custom directive and
because
custom directive.
Naveen, custom directives.
your net is bit slow it seems.
Uh, custom
Custom
directive.
directives.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Custom directive is a long story. Okay, we'll see that. Custom directive I'll tell you how to do that. You just need to
Because
import.
generally in interview, that question is asked: custom directive, custom pipe.
Custom pipe is there. Custom pipe we will create by ourselves with based on our own logic. And yeah, I'll tell you. In the coming classes we'll understand that. Okay, fine. And so that's it enough for today's class. And then we'll meet tomorrow and we'll discuss the next concepts. Thank you.